Buddy. Happy Friday. Friday. Thanks, everyone. I think we'll start sitting up for just a moment. So for everyone in this space that's on your backs, let's roll up for just a quick moment. I'm going to do a really quick demo, and then I promise we'll come back on our backs or find a comfortable seated shape and do a little breathing. The demo is on, like, say, sitting up, but pretend I'm on my back doing a sit-up. Okay, because we're going to roll on our backs and do little tiny crunch sit-ups in just a moment. What I really want to get across is that when we do this little sit-up, your hands are going to come behind your head and support your head and neck. So you bring your hands back, and you can follow along here if you want to go along before you come on your back. That's fine. Your elbows come a little bit forward, so we're not really winging like this. Elbows can come forward. Now, forearms are going to press up to the ceiling. Okay, so you're going to get a little more length through this back delt, shoulder blade, tricep area with the forearms going up. Okay, try to take the back of your head and push it into your hands, and then think or feel your elbows going forward. So there's a unification of opposite energy. Elbows are pushing forward, forearms are going up, and your head is coming back. Then you can tuck your chin a little bit and feel this length from the occiput down into your upper back. Okay, so that's a lot of pieces. So we're just going to hang out and feel this for a moment. And then if you were to do a sit-up, instead of leading the sit-up from the head and neck like this, you're going to draw your lower ribs back and then lift up and let your upper back round up and over. And then you'll sit back up, or if you're on the floor, lie back down vertebra by vertebra and bring your head to the floor. Let's try it one more time. Hands behind your head. Forearms go up, elbows pull forward, head back. Remember resistance. So you decide how much resistance you want to use here. Then your lower ribs draw back, your back ribs lift up to come up and over. And then you pace your spine, vertebra by vertebra, back up sitting, right? Or on the floor when you lie back. Should we try it in a little bit after we breathe? Sweet. All right, let's roll on our backs. Thanks for playing along. So here you go. Find a nice, easy, supported shape. If you are someone with back tension tightness, bending your knees will help support your back. Okay, so when you come on your back, feel free to bend your knees. That'll give your low back a little extra support. Then using your connection to the ground, either sitting or on your back, feeling the ground. The steadiness and the strength of the ground. Letting your body release into the earth. Give ourselves maybe 10 seconds to feel your breathing. If you tend to be someone who chest breathes, practice softening through the chest and feeling just a little more stillness in your chest. And then drop down into your lower ribs and lungs. You could even put a hand on your lower ribs if you want and see if you can feel your breath there. Softening through your corset cummerbund area, all the way around front, side, back. Now, if you're sitting, you need a little bit of effort work in your corset cummerbund. If you're on your back, you can totally let this go. The floor is holding you up. And that gentle reminder that we all have agency over our practice. So if something doesn't feel safe or comfortable, you can always come back to a shape that does. And practicing from a place of curiosity and kindness towards ourselves. So we can also practice letting go of good and bad and should and shouldn't. Okay. Just settle back. Notice from a place of curiosity. What's it feel like to take 3 breaths? Notice where you feel those 3 breaths in your body. Is you check in. If you feel a lot of movement in the chest, again, try and find a little more stillness across your collarbones, across your chest. 2 more exhales. And then if you're sitting, we're all going to roll onto our backs. Bring your hands behind your head. Take your elbows a little wide, but not so wide that you feel cramped in your upper back. And then let your forearms, right, draw back. So you're trying to find a little more length, like long armpits. So your forearms are drawing back towards the wall behind you. Now let your head get super heavy as your elbows pull up to the ceiling. So elbows go up to the ceiling, head super, super heavy. Maybe tuck your chin a little bit. Then find your lower ribs, press your lower front ribs into the floor and just lift your head like a couple inches. Hold. Let your head get even heavier. Let your forearms go up even more. Exhale, drop your ribs even more. Lift your head just another inch. Check in with your neck. Check in with your jaw. This is where we ask ourselves some questions. Curiosity, is my chest really tight? Is my throat really tight? And then release all of it down to the floor and take an inhale and an exhale. And do one more that slow. So we can really learn to start to feel this a little more from a place of space. I know a lot of times when we do sit-ups, I get reports like, oh, they hurt my neck. They hurt my shoulders. So working more from those lower ribs and upper abdominals. Here you go. Drop your ribs. Lift your head just a little bit. Tuck your chin if you need to. You don't have to lift super high. Keep your head super heavy. Let your arms and the strength of your back hold your head. Exhale, ribs go down, head lifts up again. Come up just high enough you feel challenged, not exhausted. Take a couple of breaths. And then lower all the way down with control. You might feel really challenged moving this slowly. That's okay. We're going to do 3 more, and you can move a little faster if you'd like. Move a little slower if you like. So 3 more on your own. Trying to move, create the sit-up more from your upper abdominals and your lower ribs and less from just leading with your head. Can your neck and head follow your core? Core, then the shoulders, neck, head. On your third one, if you would like more challenge, you're going to hold your shoulders up a little bit, hold your head up a little bit, and just be curious. What's it feel like? Did you go back into your neck and jaw, or can you keep the neck and jaw, the eyes soft? 2 breaths. And then lower all the way down. Let everything that can rest, rest. So you define what everything is, and then you get 5 seconds in your day to rest. We'll take 5 seconds. And then find your breath again, feel it, and use your next exhale to roll all the way on up and bring your feet out in front of you. All right, so I get reports sometimes back from people when we come to this shape that it's really tight up here in your hip flexors. So if this is really tight up here for you, kind of look where you put your legs. Maybe you take them out a little bit straighter or a little bent more, okay? Maybe you give yourself a little rotation, so you might even drop your knees out a little bit. That's okay. If you're at home, you could sit up on a blanket or something. Okay, we aren't going to be here forever. So try and find a little less tension in your hip. We're going to bring your hands to the back of your legs. We're going to sit up. Okay. Now we're going to rock to the back of your sit bones and draw your navel back, draw your ribs back, draw your breastbone, sternum back, tuck your chin and look into your belly. Then it's a rock back up onto your sit bones. I'm going to slide your sternum, breastbone up and look up. Okay. So nice and slow again, rock on back. Great. And then rock back up and lift your chest and look up. Nice. 3 more. So can we start to feel the movement originate more from your lower ribs and abdominals, less from just the shoulders, less from the neck, less from the head? Okay, next time you come up onto the top of the sit bones and you're looking up, we're going to pause. And we're going to come back to good old fashioned just sitting here like we started and let things have a moment to settle for 2 breaths. If you want more challenge, bring your arms straight out. Palms can face up. Try to be aware that you're not going to hike your shoulders up to your ears. So you don't have to physically pull them super hard down, but just trying to let the shoulders stay a little softer down out of the ear. So a little more length from your ear to your shoulder. And then you're going to come to the back of the sit bones again, draw that navel back, draw your sternum back. So it's a little bit of rounding feel, and we're all going to find a different spot. You're going to come back to a place of challenge, not exhaustion, not too much tension, not too easy, not too hard. And we're going to take 5 seconds in that spot. Great. Now try to lead from your core, say more functional lower belly core, not so much your neck. And you're going to pull yourself up and sweep your arms up. Hold on to the back of the legs or bring them out in front of you and sit back. Sweep your arms up and sit back. Great. 3 more. Heavy legs. Keep your heels really anchored down. Less leading from the head and neck. Good. Last one. And then we're going to sit up, reach up, bring your arms down. take 5 seconds, let things, energy, tension, breath, all settle. And then build yourself a tabletop, okay? So roll on over, build your table. All right, now look at your hands. Let's spend a moment on really strong fingers. It's easy to bypass the hands, take the hands for granted. So look down there and then imagine you're trying to open a really hard jar of pickles. So there's a little bit of tension through the fingers. Your fingers are strong and there's a little bit of like turning out. Okay. So you're like pushing and you're isometrically turning, right? You're not going to spin, but you're isometrically trying to turn your hands out a little bit like a corkscrew feel. Okay. And you can grip your mat a little bit. You want to feel strong through your hands. Hands connect to forearms. So when you turn on your hands, maybe you could feel your forearms turn on. Okay. Now all the way up to your upper back. Find your shoulder blades and let them slide down out of your ears, right? So we kind of hike up sometimes. So let those shoulder blades gently roll down or slide down. Now, right shoulder blade, spine, space, left shoulder blade, less of a divot. Curl your toes. You can stay right here breathing, or if you want more challenge, you're going to push into your toes and let your knees hover off the floor. We're going to hold for 10 seconds. So knees down or knees up. You got 10 seconds. Strong upper back. Your upper back is your core. Good. Then you're going to go up and back, downward facing dog or child's pose. You pick. If you're going to down dog, feel free to step your feet a little wider if you need. Push your butt back. And then if you're in down dog, let your head just hang. If you're in table, hang out. You could go back to a child's pose. 3 more breaths, whatever shape you're in. Great. And then exhale, we're going to figure out how to walk your feet and hands together. So we've been working on this in class. You might walk your feet up just a little bit and then your hands back. You might take your feet all the way up to your hands. Come all the way on up and find a standing mountain pose, nice and slow. Maybe take a full body stretch. And then just bring your arms down. Great, 3 breaths. All right, so in space here, can you get your ears a little bit more in line with your shoulders? So again, more about curiosity, not right or wrong, good or bad, right? But it can be really tempting to have your ears really far out. So you can tuck your chin a little bit, bring your head back a little bit, shoulders over your ribs, over your hips. You're going to swing your arms forward and up and try and keep that line. Ears, shoulders, ribs, hips. Swing your arms back. Ears, shoulders, ribs, hips. So ears, shoulders, ribs, hips don't have to really move a whole lot as you swing the arm here 2 more times. Next time you take your arms up, pause. Find your chair squat. So right away, it's going to be more challenging. If you need to take your arms down, do it, but push your butt back. Let your ankles, knees bend. Great. Swing your arms back behind you and pause. A little more weight in your heels now. Feel that transition. Pull the arms back. Great. Keep your knees just as they are and tip all the way over and take your arms up to the ceiling. Try and let your head hang. Exhale, keep your legs just as they are. Come on up. Knees can stay bent. Chair pose, high five. Now push into your heels, stand up. Chair pose, butt pushes back. Fold over. Reach your arms back and up to the ceiling. all the way back up to standing. Reach up, high five, push into your heels, straighten your legs, push your butt back. Fold over, last one like this, press your feet into the floor, reach your arms up, keep your knees bent a little bit. Come on up, high five, push into your heels, reach up and let your arms hang. 5 seconds, rest in standing mountain. All right, so as we stand, we're just gonna take your right foot up off the ground and kick your butt a little bit, and then your left leg. And we're just gonna go side to side. All right, just give yourself a little kick. All right, one more time. All right, now you're gonna kick your right foot up, sweep your arms up, fold forward, come all the way back up, kick your left butt, fold forward, come all the way on up. All right, kick your right butt cheek and pause and hold it. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. All right, put it down, fold forward. Come back up. Pick up your left heel, kick your butt, squeeze. Can you squeeze your left hamstring? So you're squeezing that muscle. Sweet, put your left leg down, fold over. Bend your knees if you need to. Let your chest slide forward to come up. Pause and just notice where your shoulders are in relationship to your ears. Maybe you slide your shoulders down out of your ears a little bit. And then downward facing dog. However you want to build your down dog, step back, bend your knees, push your butts back. 3 breaths to try and find more length through your spine, letting your head hang. Now imagine your head weighed just a little more than it did. Your head, your hair pulled to the floor. Great. With your next exhale, come down to tabletop. Refine, build your table. Okay, remember, if this hurts your wrist, you have forearms. Adjust as you need to. You also have fists. So if it's the flexion in the wrist, maybe you come to fist. Shoulder blades slide gently down out of your ears. Okay, trying to find a little more smoothness from shoulder blade to back heart to shoulder blade. One more time, either stay here in table with your knees down or lift your knees off the floor, 10 seconds. Building that upper back strength core. Your upper back is part of that core. You need a functional, strong core. Good, downward facing dog or child's pose. You do you, 5 breaths. What if your head weighed a little more and your head could help decompress your upper back? What would it feel like if you tucked your chin just an extra millimeter? When you're ready with your next exhale, hands and feet walk together. You do you, however it works. Maybe you walk your hands back, maybe you walk your feet forward. Press into the floor, come all the way on up, give a big high five. Swing your arms down and back, find that chair squat. Remember, your chair squat doesn't have to be super low. Okay, now look down, knees over your middle toes. Pull your arms down out of your ears. Imagine, right, you have lots of weight there. 2 more breaths. Great, sweep your arms up, stand up, bring your arms down. All right, 5 breaths. Just hang out. Get a 5-second break in your day. All right, so right side. And bring your right heel up nice and slow this time. Slowly flex your right foot, squeeze your hamstring. Now you're going to pick this right knee up and bring it forward. Lots of balance. Maybe a little more challenging. The arms come out here. Maybe more, they come up. You're going to step that right foot all the way back now and build your high lunge, hands to your hips. Give yourself time. So front of the hips lift, right thigh bone presses back. Ribs draw down and back. Option 1, stay right here with your hands on your hips. Option 2, hands come behind your head. Head presses back. Hands press forward, elbows press forward, forearms go up. Okay, 2 breaths. Now take your rib cage and pull it back. Right? Don't let that rib cage go forward. That's going to help your shoulders. That's going to help your neck and jaw. Now step both feet together. If your hands want to go up to the ceiling, let them reach. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, step back one more time, downward facing dog. Stay in down dog, or if you want more challenge, floating table. The stronger you can get across your upper back, the better for your neck, the better for your shoulders. So floating table or downward facing dog, you got 5 more seconds. Keep breathing. Challenge yourself without exhaustion. Great, then find a shape, either tabletop, down dog, or child's pose. You get another 5-second break. Just breathe for 5 seconds. What can rest here? What can you let go of? And then we're going to walk your hands and feet together again. You do you. You just have to find your way up to standing. Right? However that might look and work and feel for you. And then we get standing mountain meditation. Left leg, you're going to pick up that left foot, bend that left knee, squeeze that hamstring. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Can you squeeze it even more? And then bring the knee forward and balance. Maybe your arms come up, maybe not. Right? Hopefully you're wobbling. That means you're alive. We want to wobble. Okay, step your left leg back. Oh, well, this. We'll have helmets next year. All right, everybody. Woo. Hips lift up, left leg presses back. Right? Right? You maybe notice, right, that tendency to push your chest forward. Woo. Ribs, like a little bit of a sit-up. Remember when you did your sit-up and you took your ribs down and back? Hands behind your head. Can you feel a little bit of that sit-up in this shape? Forearms up, elbows forward, 2 breaths. Up to you. Keep your hands here. Push your head back a little bit. Tuck your chin. Do what you need. Maybe you take your arms up. You got to step that left leg forward. Ooh, balance again, and then put that leg down. Arms come down. Sweep your arms forward. Push your butt back. Find your chair squat. Bring your hands back behind you. Ribs down and back. There you go. Fold all the way over this time. Arms up to the ceiling, head to the floor. Okay, in opposition, imagine your head's a little heavier, your arms are a little stronger and longer. Don't move your legs, just let your hands come down to the floor. Lift your chest a little bit, look out in front of you. Notice if you hiked your shoulders up into your ears. Now tuck your chin and look at the floor. And just soften your eyes, soften your gaze. 2 breaths. Downward facing dog, step back. One more time, tabletop. Just for something different, come down to your forearms. Stay right here in forearm table, or curl your toes and take a forearm floating table. Let your knees lift up. Super strong through your upper back, shoulders down out of your ears. You got this, 5 more seconds. You got it, you got it, you got it. Keep breathing. You're super strong. Let your knees come back down. Straighten your arms, downward facing dog, or if you prefer elbow dog, keep your elbows down. That's fine too. So there's multiple ways to do downward facing dog. You can do it on your forearm elbows. You can do it on your hands. You could come back to child's pose. One more time, you get a 5 breath break in your day. What a gift. Nobody to tell you what to do for 5 breaths. Just get to rest, breathe. What does your next exhale feel like? And then we're going to walk your hands and feet together. Figure out how to come on up to standing. Woohoo! Give yourself a full body stretch. Arms come down. Great. Pick up your right knee. Hike it way up, balance. Now bring your right knee to the floor and squeeze your heel to your butt. Maybe your arms stay up to balance. Couple more breaths. You're going to straighten that bent right leg and take your high lunge. Bring your hands behind your head. All right, your left knee is going to bend. Find your belly button. Try not to let your belly button move as you twist your right rib cage around to the left. 3 breaths. Lunge twist. Next exhale, come back around. Arms come back up towards the ceiling if you want, or they can come to your hips. 2 breaths. Exhale, step your right foot forward, balance. Build your tree pose, hands behind your head. You can put your right toes right all the way down on the floor if you need to. Wobble. 3 breaths. Wobbling doesn't mean you're not grounded. You can still stay grounded and wobble. Great. Both feet come to the floor. Arms reach up. Long spine, push your butt back, forward fold. Great. Let your chest float forward to come up a little bit. One more time, step back, downward facing dog. Right away, if this is bugging your wrists, come down to tabletop. Lots of different options now. Tabletop, floating table, elbows. Maybe you come down on your elbows. You can do an elbow table. You float your knees up in elbow table. You do you. How can you feel a little more connection across your upper back? Strengthening those upper back muscles to help release tension in your neck and jaw. Most importantly, you're checking in with how you're feeling. You're not holding your breath. Next exhale, we all come back to tabletop. Check in. Do you want to do, right, a straight arm down dog or an elbow down dog or a child's pose? What do you want to do here? Pick that place and go there for a couple of breaths. We're going to be quiet so you can just listen to yourself breathe. And then with your next 2 exhales, we're going to figure out how to come all the way on up to standing again. When you get up to stand, we're just going to hang out for a moment. I'll catch up with each other. I'm going to try and remember what we just did on the right side. You think I'm joking, but I'm really serious, everyone. I'm not quite sure, but I think we can wing it, right? All right, we're going to pick up your left knee. This feels familiar. Maybe you take your hands up. All right, swing that left leg back and squeeze. Flex that left foot and squeeze your heel to your butt. All right, you got to find your high lunge. So maybe bring your hands down or keep them up and step that left leg back. Hands come behind your head. Elbows, right? Press forward as your head presses back. Forearms lift up. Find your high lunge. Keep your ribs down and in. And when you're ready, the left rib cage is going to twist around to the right. Lunge twist. Feel how strong you are. So good. Come all the way around. All right. Arms up or not. Right. They can be up. They can come to your hips. Step your left foot forward. Drive your knee up. Balance. Tree pose. Hands can come behind your head with tree. Forearms can lift up. Can you reconnect in your own way of understanding to this connection place in your body? Cross your upper back. How can your upper back help you balance for 3 more breaths? Well, it's going to feel so good when you put that left foot down, right? Reach on up, push your butt back, fold all the way over. Woohoo! Step on back. Last time, downward facing dog. Great, come to tabletop. Great, come to a floating table one last time. Upper back strength. You got this. 10 seconds. Woohoo, you got it. You're so strong. Let your knees come down. And then press back. Ooh, child's pose. We're just going to take a 5-breath child's pose. Then with an exhale, come to tabletop. You can come to your forearms if your hands, wrists are starting to bug you. But remember, come back. Remind yourself, strong hands, okay? So, strong hands, strong forearms. Lift your belly button up. Pull your belly button up and round your low back. Pull your ribs up, pull your sternum up. We want to find a big, strong cat pose. So keep your strong cat for 2 breaths. Now define your low back. So try to keep your low back in cat and then take the back ribs into cow. So your back ribs up through between your shoulder blades. You're going to try and find mid spine, upper spine in cow, but keep that low back more in cat. Okay, it might feel funny in your body because we don't do this a lot. We don't want to compress that low back a lot here. So you're trying to keep a little bit of cat. I like to call it the cat-cow combo. And then just rest everything. And just, if you want a heel stretch, foot stretch, you can just keep your toes curled under and sit back, or you could come to child's pose. I'm going to take about a 5-second break. I'm going to add on. All right, so you can do this in child's pose. This is going to just be more sensory, somatic for a moment, okay? So we want to, in our own bodies, find the lower back rib cage area and just go up through your spine, through your ribs, into your shoulder blades, up to the back shoulder, and you can even go all the way up into your neck to the back of the skull. And just feel that out through your breath. So we have a really nice understanding of where we're headed, okay? So puppy pose is a little bit like child's pose. We're gonna push the hips back like this, right? You're gonna push your butt back, okay? But in puppy pose, you take your arms way out in front of you, up on your fingertips. Okay, so right away, when you go out this wide, can y'all see me in the room? It's really easy to do this. This is not what we're doing. You see how I just twerked? I just pushed my butt up and dropped my rib cage with no strength there whatsoever. It kind of hurts. All right, even at home, not what we're doing, okay? So you're gonna reach out as far as you can. You're gonna find your low back like we just did in cat. Keep your low back in cat and push your butt back. Push your butt back until you can't push it back anymore. Then, when you have pushed your butt back so far, keep your low back in cat and pause. Now find your cat-cow combo. Let your lower back ribs up to your back skull find your cow. But your low back still stays in cat. And you come down lower, 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 lower. Go slow. Feel that like strong connected stretch. Chin looks forward. So then you can pull your chin forward and up and look forward. 3 breaths. Nice. And then just pull yourself back up. Great. Sit back and look up this way. I'll do it for you, and then you'll have like a picture of it, right? A picture's worth 1,000 words sometimes. So you reach way out, low back in cat. Okay, so I'm tucked under in my pelvis for a little bit. I'm pushing my butt back. I go back as far as that stretch allows me. Then I found upper back, mid back cow, and I settle down. Chin forward. I keep the tension between reach and pull back, okay? You wanna really keep tension in this pose as you go down. Make sense? Your turn. Woo! All right, we are all, let's just like kind of acknowledge too, that the back rib cage for so many of us all the way up into the back of the skull is really tight. So that's why we want to keep some tension. We want to go slow, right? Each breath has movement. So we're in constant movement. You're pushing your butt way back and you're reaching, like really reach. Like there's something at the front of the mat you really, really want. Come up on your fingertips. Let your elbows lift up off the floor. That's it. And then slide your chin forward and look up. There you go. Woo, low back in cat. Yes, back rib cage a little more in cow. 3 more breaths. And then come all the way back to tabletop. 3 cat-cows, just on your own, just gonna move through your spine. Nice, and then after your 3 cat-cows, we'll come back and find an easy supported shape. So you could sit back and crisscross applesauce. You could sit back with your legs out in front of you. If you're at home or in an office, you want a chair, sit on a chair. All right, hands one more time can either come here to your collarbones, or if you want a little more, your hands can come behind your head. Forearms go up. Good. Elbows go forward, head comes back. Okay. You can keep your hands on your shoulders as well, just to help let your shoulders stay down. Left rib cage all the way over to the right. Twist. 2 breaths. Right rib cage all the way to the left, 2 breaths. Great, back to center. Nice, take your arms out like T's. Give your shoulder blade just one little squeeze, retract, and then come around and give yourself a big hug. Wherever your hands land, pause, twist to the right. Now see if you can feel your breath, right? Move the bones underneath your hands. Wherever your hands are, see if you can feel the residue of your breathing. And one more twist to the left. You feel the residue of the breath under your hands. All the way back to center. Keep your hug and just lift your elbows up. 3 breaths. And let your arms come down and find a really easy, comfortable shape for the last 2 minutes here. So we always take the last couple of minutes for self-care, so you can stay sitting, you can do some quiet stretching, you can lie on your back for those of you who requested Shavasana. You get a 2-minute one. So 2 minutes of quiet, 2 minutes to take care of yourself. That could be Shavasana resting, that could be meditation, could be gentle movement. Whatever you're doing here, can you come all the way back and just check in and notice where you feel your breath? And then encourage a little more stillness in your chest. Maybe feeling a little more movement in your lower ribs. Residue of the breath in your belly, maybe all the way into your pelvis. Full commitment, exhale, breathing, 3 breaths. And if you're on your back, maybe you draw your knees into your chest or give yourself a full body stretch, or maybe you do both. And then not overthinking it, we're just going to roll over to the easiest side and come all the way back up to sit. Thanks everyone for showing up in person and online. Happy Friday. I hope you have a fabulous weekend, and I'll see you hopefully on Tuesday. High fives. Thanks everybody.